Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he that is so wants nothing. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. All cruelty springs from weakness. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by rulers as useful. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. It is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. The life we receive is not short, but we make it so. We are not ill-provided, but use what we have wastefully. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. He who is brave is free. No man was ever wise by chance. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Only time can heal what reason cannot. If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according what others think, you will never be rich. Putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes, and denies us the present by promising the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what lies in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Life is like a play. It's not the length but the excellence of the acting that matters. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Leisure without books is death and burial of a man alive. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. A sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the killer's hand. Life is long if you know how to use it. There is no genius without a touch of madness. We learn not in the school, but in life. While we wait for life, life passes. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. But life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what lies in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Withdraw into yourself as far as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. To wish to be well is a part of becoming well. I am not born for one corner. The whole world is my native land. It does not matter how many books you have, but how good the books are which you have. It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that they are difficult. It is difficult to bring people to goodness with lessons, but it is easy to do so by example. He who spares the wicked injures the good. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Nothing is burdensome if taken lightly, and nothing need arouse one's irritation so long as one doesn't make it bigger than it is by getting irritated. It is more civilized to make fun of life than to bewail it. Whatever can happen at any time can happen today. Of this one thing make sure against your dying day, that your faults die before you do. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. The part of life we really live is small. For all the rest of existence is not life but merely time. There is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with. No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. True happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence on the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is abundantly sufficient. To be always fortunate, and to pass through life with a soul that has never known sorrow, is to be ignorant of one half of nature. It is quality rather than quantity that matters. It takes the whole of life to learn how to live, and what will perhaps make you wonder more, it takes the whole of life to learn how to die. But when you are looking on anyone as a friend when you do not trust him as you trust yourself, you're making a grave mistake and have failed to grasp sufficiently the full force of true friendship. As far as I am concerned, I know that I have lost not wealth, but distractions. The body's needs are few. It wants to be free from cold, to banish hunger and thirst with nourishment. If we long for anything more, we are exerting ourselves to serve our vices, not our needs. For many men, the acquisition of wealth does not end their troubles, it only changes them. We cease to be so angry once we cease to be so hopeful. The difficulty comes from our lack of confidence. If we could be satisfied with anything, we should have been satisfied long ago. What really ruins our character is the fact that none of us looks back over his life. When a person spends all his time in foreign travel, he ends by having many acquaintances but no friends. If what you have seems insufficient to you, then though you possess the world, you will yet be miserable. I have learned to be a friend to myself. Great improvement this indeed. Such a one can never be said to be alone, for know that he who is a friend to himself is a friend to all mankind. Each day acquire something that will fortify you against poverty, against death, indeed against other misfortunes as well. And after you have run over many thoughts, select one to be thoroughly digested that day. Men do not care how nobly they live, but only for how long, although it is within the reach of every man to live nobly, but within no man's power to live long. Wild animals run from the dangers they actually see, and once they have escaped them, worry no more. We, however, are tormented alike by what is past and what is to come. A number of our blessings do us harm, for memory brings back the agony of fear, while foresight brings it on prematurely. No one confines his unhappiness to the present. Let us say what we feel and feel what we say. Let speech harmonize with life. Drunkenness is nothing but voluntary madness. Can you no longer see a road to freedom? It's right in front of you. You need only turn over your wrists. Brave men rejoice in adversity, just as brave soldiers triumph in war. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what is in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. People who know no self-restraint lead stormy and disordered lives, passing their time in a state of fear commensurate with the injuries they do to others, never able to relax. We are members of one great body, planted by nature. We must consider that we were born for the good of the whole. All this hurrying from place to place won't bring you any relief, for you're traveling in the company of your own emotions, followed by your troubles all the way. It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence. While we are postponing, life speeds by,